Being able to make selections of cells means you're now ready to move on to actually formatting your worksheet. Now, by default, your worksheet will come with a set of formatting. The font will already be set. The font size will already be set. The color will already be set. And it's up to us now to then make that more beautiful or enhance things. We can see here in the sales data, we have a small amount of data. If you pick an individual cell, you'll be able to use the home ribbon to see what font face we're using, the font size, and then the color is in this little drop down here, and it's currently black, and the background color is this little drop down here, and it's currently no fill. So there is no background color at the moment. Now, if we want to change the typeface, the first step is make the selection of the cells you wish to change. If I wish to change all of these cells, I can use that nifty little shortcut of Ctrl A. That then selects the active area, assuming you're actually within the active area, that is. If we're outside the active area, so if we're over here and we try Ctrl A, we end up selecting the whole sheet. So you need to be within the active area. It doesn't matter whether at the beginning, the end, or the middle. And then Ctrl A selects all the active cells. Now whatever we do will affect all of those cells. So if we're not keen on Calibri, we can go up to Calibri and come down the list of fonts, all alphabetical. And what you can see is as you move down them, we're actually affecting directly the cells behind. So you can see that they're jumping about depending on how fat and wide the font is. So we can go all the way through, and which fonts you've got will depend on your machine's installation. Perhaps we'd like to go for Century Gothic. And you can see the typeface has then changed. Now if I want to increase or decrease the font size for individual cells, it may be that I want the titles to be a little bigger. Well, I can highlight those titles. Holding down the Control key will allow me to highlight a second non-consecutive area. I can then change the font size either by directly choosing a number from the drop list. As I move down, it automatically affects everything. We could leave that at 14. Or I can use the plus and the minus to effectively step up a font size at a time or step down a font size at a time. So I can change the typeface if I'm not happy with the typeface I've been given. I can change the font size. In this case, I'm dealing with the headings. So let's push those headings up to 16. The rest of the font, if we click in there, is actually 14, but the headings are all 16 because I highlighted both sets of cells. It's changed all the headings to 16 points. I can change the color. Again, I need to select. So let's do the totals across the bottom. The font color is controlled by this little A here, and we have a drop down. We have a set of theme colors. So we have the main colors that run across here for that theme, and you can see it's affecting the cells immediately below, so I can see what's going to happen. So I'm not actually clicking, I'm just moving, and I'm getting that preview of the color. Now within each of the theme colors, there's then different tints. So I could choose the sort of black, but choose a different shade of grey. Or perhaps I quite like that blue, but then I've got different tints of that blue. Well, the orange is quite nice, isn't it? Or I can go in for the standard colors, or more colors, which will bring up a separate dialog box for me to choose from. I'm going to go with that orange. Again, only affecting selected cells. If I highlight the totals on the right, we could make those go an even different color, kind of blue for those. As well as being able to change the font color, we can actually change the background color for a cell. I could select my titles again all the way across. The background color is controlled by this button. Now I can choose the last color selected, which was yellow, or I can go in and again I'm given the same selection. Set of theme colors with different tints, or the standard colors, or more colors, or no fill, which is the default. The last little bit for this particular section is great. We can change the typeface, size, both the font color and the background color, bold or italicize. So I'm going to take my headings again, but also my left-hand heading. So that's control and the second area. And then we have a little B here for bold, and everything selected goes bold or off. So it's an on-off. Little toggle button, I, italics, or off. Both of those controlled by Control B for on, Control B for off, Control I for on, Control I for off. You could even have both on. So you're bold and italic, and both little icons are highlighted in your ribbon. Control B and Control I turns them both off. And then underlining. Now underlining has a drop down, because we have the choice of normal underlining or double underlining. Now normal underlining can be instigated by the use of the keyboard shortcut Control U. Every word within each of the selected cells gets underlined. If however I want that double underlining, I can go in and choose double underlining. Let's go for single underlining, or Ctrl U to turn that off. So I'm actually going to leave those as bold, so that's Ctrl B. Then highlight my totals row at the bottom and apply a double underline to those. So you can see that they then look like they are totals, but they only underline the contents of each cell, not the whole cell. So having some control, we've been able to select cells and change typeface, size, and then the color both of the background and of the foreground. All of those elements are controlled within this group on the home ribbon.